Hi, can I bother you for a second?
Yeah.
Do you have a mixture of different colors for the roses, or you only have two? Like, I like to have like 3 or 4 different types of colors. I don't mean to be difficult. I'm sorry.
So like red on the
Yeah, like this one. Can you take out some the bunch? Yeah, like this is the one. But I like that one, but except with some red roses, if you don't mind.
I just change this one, right?
The reason that I'm doing this because I'm taking them into the women's prison, so they could have a mixture of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No problem.
So we got it. Great.
All right.
I really appreciate you.
No problem. Have a nice one.
Yeah, this is nice. This is the practice of mindfulness of feelings. It allows you to be in touch with your feeling. And when you're in touch with your feeling, notice the sensations in the body. Clearly seeing the thoughts as waves, coming and going one at a time.
Well, I'm going to be 80 in a few weeks. Okay, so I'm 72. So.
You guys are young.
When we want more, but we can't have it, then we crave for it. When we crave for it, then we start to cling for it. We would do anything to get it, but we can't have it, then we get angry or we get depressed. That's the sequence, the sequence of it. So yeah, my niece came over yesterday. She had 4 ice cream bars. So you, her mom would kill me if she knew. Right now, I have 4 prisons. The women's prison in Chino, that's every Monday. The men's prison in Lancaster, that's every Tuesday. And then on the 3rd weekend, right, that's in Blythe, that's where Anwood and Chakawala are located. I started the women's prison in 2016. That prison has the highest rate of women committing suicide. You know, so I contact the prison directly. And she said, at the time, they didn't have any volunteer. So she sent me the form, I filled it out. The manager there at the time, she scheduled me for Monday night. That's how I got started.
When you said that about the craving, like when I first went to prison, I kind of craved the love and attention that my daughter had when I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I had to really refocus, and that's why I went through it. I grieved for her.
Right.
I had to grieve for her because that way was the only way I could break that
Craving.
Yeah.
Well, I have volunteered in the prisons for 10 years now. I made it my visit and my teaching as almost like a classroom setting. It's not necessarily religious where, we don't have any bowing or burning incense, but it's more like an education, a psychology. They are able to meditate and they are able to see their own suffering or how they feel, and with the practice, they're able to see through that, and that helps them.
First time I got to Chuckawalla, that was the first time I got to a prison where there was Buddhist services actually available. D shows up all the time. He's genuine. So when he started showing up and their friends told me, hey, there's Buddhist services when I first got there, and I went, oh, I'll go. He was the first person I talked to. It was great. He was funny. He had a lot of sense of humor. Had me laughing, And first thing he does, he goes, hi, gives you this big giant hug. Some of the other Buddhist monks, they're nice, but they don't seem to understand the life we live, that it is a constant struggle. But he knew, he understood, even though he never lived that way, he understood. So he was more forgiving, and he would come up with great ideas how to get around it. You don't want to be in the car with me when I'm driving because I will tell the other drivers exactly how I feel about it. I don't.
You need to meditate more.
Or they do, one or the other. Other than that, I don't lose my temper. I'm not the person I used to be. People actually don't know I'm in prison. And people, when I do tell them, actually can't believe that I was, because I'm not.
I grew up in a very violent, alcoholic household, and I learned to suppress my feelings. There was another inmate there, Scott, and we brought this up to D, and he's the one that actually said, well, you guys are not, you're suppressing your feelings. And so, he introduced that concept of mindfulness. And so we would walk around in the prison all week long or all month long, waiting for D to show up again. And me and Scott would say, I'm feeling frustrated. We would name our feelings. And with the mindfulness practice, we were actually able to start experiencing our feelings, instead of pushing them away and not feeling them.
If you feel unpleasant, if it's from someone or something.
I remember Venerable walking in, I can tell he was a monk. And I said, hey, are you here for the Buddhist service? He said, yeah. Gave him a little bit story about, how I started. And then I told him, I said, yeah, I'm doing life without parole. And at the time, he didn't know what that meant. I said, really, in a nutshell, I said, I'm gonna die in here. I'm gonna die in prison. And the look in his eyes is like, I said, hey, it's okay. I said, told me it's okay, but I can tell, like, he was trying to understand. It's like, man. So he actually learned a lot of terms of lifers. I actually gave him a lot of information.
But you saw, I feel much better today. All right. So this razor was given to me by my first teacher or master. That was almost 17 years ago when he shaved my head when I became a monk. One thing about the Chinese culture, or most Asian culture, we have to keep whatever that we are born. So basically, we cannot shave our head. That's why it wasn't easy for me when I decided to become a monk, because not only that I have to shave my head, I cannot get married, I cannot have kids, I have to be celibate. So that was the one thing, that's why my mom cried, but then I also cried. Right? Yeah. I was born in Saigon in 1963 during the Vietnam War. And I'm the oldest. I have 3 younger brothers and 3 younger sisters. My father made color paper. When I was 9 years old, I was forced to learn how to cook rice using wood on a brick stove. If I burn the rice, I would be yelled at. Pass on, you guys are gonna be by yourself. Be careful, okay? Be careful, okay? Don't drop it, okay? Yeah, hold it. Okay? All right. Sit on the table, okay?
Okay.
In Vietnam, when you turn 18, you have to go to the military. What happened was the war in between Vietnam and China. They wanted us, myself and my younger brother Dennis, is to have, I guess, a better life. So my mom decided to let me and Dennis, I was 18, Dennis was 13, to get on a boat and get out of Vietnam.
I think in the spring of 2013, when my former professor, Dr. Lancaster, he said I want to teach Buddhism inside the prison. There were a couple volunteers who did it before they came to the U.S. campus. So I came to a meeting, there were like more than 20 people, a lot of monks and nuns too, I wasn't planning that, I want to go. But then at the end of the second meeting, Dr. Lancaster passed out a piece of paper for people to sign up. I was one of the 3 people signed up. The majority of them, they spent so many years in solitary confinement, meaning that they are in the cell 6 by 8 the whole day. Their mind is restless, anyone. That's one thing. Second, they probably suffered trauma before when they were kids. And because of that, with trauma, when something happened to you, it affected your brain, it affected your body, it affected your feelings, it affected the way you perceive the world. So at the time I was 14 to 18, my dad, he would come home drunk every night, and he would be, if he did not pass out, then he would be screaming and yell at us because, I was only 14 and my 3 younger brothers, we were playing. He would be screaming. He made us kneel in front of the altar for our ancestors for 1 incense, right? And that would be an hour, but we were laughing too. But when he came home drunk, I had to help him go upstairs to go to bed. I had to help him take his clothes off, just leaving his shirt so he could go to sleep. Sometimes he also came home so drunk that he threw up. I helped to help him go upstairs, and I also had to clean up. Or if he just couldn't move, then we have a bed downstairs for him to lie down. And I had to do that at the same time being abused verbally, physically by him. He could, with his hand like that, he could smack me on my face. It hurt. I saw light. Or he would use bamboo sticks and hit me until they all broke. So every night, almost, I think 3 times a week, I would cry going to sleep, not understanding why he did that to me. Always question why, if he was my father. For 4 years, until I left it now. 4 years. So I always question, why was he doing that? But then when I left Vietnam, I didn't think about it, But then I sponsored him over in 91, and when I saw him at the airport, oh my God, everything came back. All what we call flashback. When I saw him, all the abuse came back, and I cried that night. And he did not change. He was still very abusive. He was screaming at my mom. He actually was screaming. My sister fell one time. He screamed at her like, "What's wrong with you?" That's how he was. That's what we call hate, ill will, resentment, and hatred. I carried and anger. I carry all of that. I wish him dead. I wish him dead every day. But he was older, right? He was 50. He was 60 or something. Then when he died in I think March also of 1999. You can offer your compassion to anyone, including people that you don't care for, or someone that made your life difficult before. The reason that we offer compassion for people who hurt you before
is that you're able to free your mind from holding on to any anger, ill will, resentment, and hatred. May I be calm and peaceful.
So when I went to prison, when I heard all kinds of stories similar to what I have, that's how I was able to connect with them. I felt sad for them that no child in this world should suffer that kind of abuse.
I learned a lot from you guys because I personally witnessed dukkha, right, firsthand. And the one thing that all of you had to offer was that you took off, there was no layers. You dropped all the wall, anything that you had put up when it comes to the chapel. That's why I felt how you guys were so humble and genuine. And that forever I'm grateful, and that's why I started from one prison to 7.
If I had a problem, I'd write D, and he, when he would show up, he would give me instruction, and it was really nice to have somebody there that was on your side, was looking out for your best interests. A lot of us in there, we don't have family, because once you go in there, even if you have family out on the street, over years they kind of fade. So D became part of our family.
I used to hate this song.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah, I love it. 你看你困困似否，似大江一發不收，轉千彎，轉千坎，亦未平復，始終爭鬥，又有喜，又有愁。就算分不清歡笑悲憂。